Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Racers Driving League for Season 14, round number 23 of the Championship, the penultimate race of the season. I'm your host, Zach RC, taking you through all the action here at the Shanghai International Circuit. And joining me once again after stellar performances in recent weeks is Touchby Pope. How you doing, mate?
I'm good, mate. Thank you very much. Very excited for this qualifying section. As you can see, full wet conditions, something that we barely have here in RDL. So we'll hopefully spice up the grid for us to commentate on.
Definitely, it's absolutely chucking it down. The heavens have completely opened here at the Shanghai International Circuit, so we should be in for what should no doubt be a very exciting qualifying session, and hopefully a race as well if it stays like this for the Grand Prix itself. While we wait for everyone to get onto track, we'll just confirm to you guys, as I was confirmed last week in Portugal. So both championships now wrapped up. The championship in the terms of constructors going the way of Aston Martin, and Grumio wins the drivers' championship. Grumio, the one Aston Martin in the field tonight, as my game sound isn't working. There we go, it's fixed itself. As Alvar, the first car out on the racetrack. But yeah, Pope championships wrapped up, so a bit more fun tonight. Nothing much to focus on in terms of the title.
Well, exactly, mate. Obviously, it's commiserations to Cheyu. Put off a fantastic fight for a large part of this season, but Grumio fully deserved it. But now, especially for those two, they can go all guns blazing and not have to fret about keeping a championship alive. So hopefully some more competitive racing from the both of them.
Definitely. Of course, you still think to look to the bottom of the table. Williams, AlphaTauri and Alfa Romeo all still vying not to be finishing in last place. AlphaTauri spent the majority of the season stuck in a rut at the bottom, but they're starting to come back now.
Yeah, they've done really well in the past few weeks. Prolol scoring some major points. JB still trying to find the feet a little bit, but at the end of the season, I'm sure he could get some points, especially on a smaller grid like the one we have tonight.
Definitely. You also think to the reverse grid race, the final round next week. Not only the last race of this season, but the last race on this game. We looking forward to saying goodbye to this one?
Yes.
I think I've
say anything more than that.
I think that more or less sums it up. Right then. So we'll jump into the qualifying session. Then Alvar is the first car on the racetrack. He's coming through the last couple of corners to start his first flying run. Pope, would you be so generous as to take us through his lap?
Of course, mate. So, obviously, at China, you have to make sure that you get the run for the straight. Obviously, a bit hard in these conditions, so we're going to put the little bit on the inside of final corner. Bit of overstay by Alvar. Normally, you would open DRS at this point of the lap, but here is the start of the lap. Turn 1, 2 and 3, very tight, very technical. One of the hardest sequence of corners. You can see Alvar going a little bit wider, using the water to try and keep the tyres cool and get them all grip. Then you're already through turn 2, and then you're going into 3, the left-hander. A very, very hard corner, one of my worst corners on the entire game, but going into one of the best sections out of 4 and 5, which is coming through this little kink. You see Daniel Ricciardo making an incredible move on Valtteri Bottas here. Down the inside, very good overtaking opportunity. So sure we're going to see some overtakes happen there. At this point, you want to make sure you are on full throttle. This left-hander, very hard. You see Alvar going half throttle through this part of the circuit. You don't want a back-end slip. This is where you'll see a lot of spins normally during the race. Going to this tight and technical bit, we're out of Sector 1 now, into Sector 2. Going into what I call the dinosaur of the track. Little Stegosaurus head as you go for a very hard braking move. Once again, another very good overtaking move. Down the inside is what I love to do in this circuit. Now this long sweeping right-hander, very, very hard to keep it great and keep the car balanced. Balance is a massive part about this track because it changes throughout the thing. And then obviously this huge back straight. This is one of the longest straights that I think in Formula 1 bar Baku's, I'm pretty certain. So this is awesome stuff. Cars even reaching near 195 miles an hour in the wet conditions, heavy braking zone. Another great move, place to make a move. And then coming to where we started this lap with Alvar, going into the last corner through turn 16, using all the exit space and across the line, hits a 1:48.2.
Thank you then, Pope, for taking us through that, quite frankly, fantastic lap of Shanghai. And after hearing you call the start of Sector 3 the dinosaur, I'll never be able to look at that part of the circuit the same way ever again. So, cheers for the imagery there, much appreciated. Right, keep an eye on who else is coming through here for the start of their time runs. I see BG on the intermediate tyres there. He's one of, looks at about half the pack. Or yeah, exactly half the field are on intermediate tyres as of right now. We're seeing the next couple of cars to come through to the line. It's Grumio who goes fastest, 1 minute 46.9. That's a huge start to qualifying so far. And we'll see the rest of the cars come through here. I've seen one of the Red Bulls starting up. That's Ethan on the Inters. Here comes one of the Alfa Romeos to the last corner. PJ Khaled towards the line. He goes fastest there. Oh, it's very close between him and Grumio. But I dare say those intermediate tyre runners could have the edge so far. As Lemons goes into third in his return to the league this week. Alvar still now down there in 4th place. So it is time dropping down the order quite quickly here. And each of our 16 runners try and take their shot at it in the opening minute as qualifying. So here comes Daniel Aaron, Alvar's teammate to the last corner. We'll see what he can do on the Inters. Bit of oversteer on the exit, but coming towards the line here. Bit of a slow lap there, but still enough to beat his teammate to the line. So the intermediate tyre runners seem to be the ones to beat so far.
Yeah, yellow flag on the back straight. Is that Legend? I think just had a spin there coming out the exit of what I think we're going to call it the dinosaur for today's race. But something to watch out for. Legends, remember at Mexico, didn't have one of the better races, but still finishing the points, so really good for him. But yeah, as you were saying, I think the intermediate tyres are definitely the tyres to be on right now.
Yeah, so we'll keep looking here at the rest of the cars. JB setting the size time right now with a 1 minute 50.6. Lycon just went 7th fastest, 148.6 for him. And Fan just in front of them in 6th place. Now I wonder if Fan will try what he obviously we've seen what he likes to do. He likes to set in a dry qualifying, he likes to set a banker lap on the mediums while switching to the softs. Could he be doing the same thing but from wets to winters perhaps?
I think so. I mean, obviously his teammate just behind on the intermediate.
Oh, he's gone wide there. Che goes fastest.
Oh yeah, Che, that's a fantastic lap there by Che. Only 3 times ahead of Grumio though, who's on the wet, so watch out for Grumio when he gets onto the Inters. He's going to be absolutely rapid. But I think Fan is just like testing the waters quite literally on those wet tyres.
Very funny stuff. Right, looking at the last 2 cars to come through, set their first laps. Next car to the line is one of the Red Bulls there, and that is Ethan who's coming towards the line. He's a 10th up on his previous effort. So that was Lemons over the line. He stays in 5th place right now. Ethan midway through Sector 1. Everyone on the track right now except Courtney Goblin, who we've started to see obviously a usual sight in the pit lane. I think honestly I say more about Courtney Goblin being in the pit lane during qualifying than anything else over the course of a season, if I'm being honest. So I probably would stop slandering him there.
No, we all love Courtney. He's a fantastic driver, and though his qualifying techniques are rather peculiar to many, somehow he ends up completing the race 100%, and that's what matters here in the long run. See Prolon making a bit of a mistake coming out of turn 14. 2 drivers now being caught out on the exit of that corner, something to watch out for in the remainder of this qualifying. I do wonder though if the race is going to be dry. That's my biggest question.
Definitely, and we said about Prolol making mistakes there. His teammates doing the exact opposite. JB's put himself onto the front row there. I dare say, Pope, this wet qualifying, we don't see them very often, if at all, this season, because I barely even remember at this point. But could we see another pole sitter? We know that Grumio's dominated qualifying all season long. It's been a huge part of his championship bid. But of course, JB, PJ, BJ, they're all up there. Honestly, I dare say it's anyone's game to take pole as Che goes around on the exit of turn 14. Luckily, pirouetting to let Ferrari through. As I say that, Grumio goes fastest by about a 10th or so over Che Oliver, who recovers his car, gets him to going, Torpedo goes back to the pit lane here. But Grumio now on pole, and I think I may have commentated cursed everyone on the grid here in terms of a chance at pole.
I think maybe a chance at pole might be out the question. However, I feel like from P3 onwards, maybe even P2 onwards, it's anyone's game. I love the wet. It's an equaliser for the entire grid, and you might not be having one of the best seasons, or it might not be in a good string of races. However, one good qualifying can change a whole season. And I feel like at the end, just for the final boost for these drivers, throw in a wet qualifying and make it a little bit more exciting for them.
Definitely. I'd love to see a wet race next week when we go to Brazil for the reverse grid finale. So that will be quite insane, because obviously haven't been quite bunched up as it is. There'll be no qualifying. We get right into the action, and that's something we always love to see.
Definitely. I love the reverse grids. Happily, normally at the back, not had the best of luck in them. However, racing, it's just fantastic, and it's a nice way to end off the season. But I also like races where it ends like this, or starts like this, with exciting qualifying, drivers normally out of position, which just leads to some chaotic racing. It's awesome. It's good fun.
Definitely. Always enjoyable to have something out of the norm, especially in a sport such as Formula 1, which can be almost a procession at times. So it's good to see a bit of variety chucked up with these wet sessions. And as I say, hopefully there'll be more of that in the race itself. Right, we'll keep looking at the order here. So as of right now, only just 2 drivers who are yet to set times. Those two drivers being Conley Golden, who hasn't left the pit lane, and Prolol, who I'm assuming has invalidated once or twice. Huggy Bear is currently the slowest time now. For those of you who don't know, it is Huggy's last race in the RDL this week for the foreseeable future, so it'll be sad to see him go after tonight. Pope, give me your thoughts on that.
I'm going to miss the guy. I absolutely adore him. He's been here as long as I can remember, and he's provided us with so much joy. Just being able to share a track with him is a pleasure, and yeah, it'd be sad to see him go, but I'm sure onto new things he will succeed and do very well at. But it'd be a shame to see him no longer on the grid next year.
One can hope that he wins the race tonight, is all I'll say.
I think every driver should just let him through, to be honest. That would be the fairest way of doing it. Let that man just win the race, and it would just be spectacular, honestly.
I'd love calling Huggy winning a Grand Prix. It'd be absolutely fantastic. I mean, it's a shame I haven't been able to do so in my time here, but I would love to see it today.
Yeah, no, it would be fantastic. Honestly, I don't have enough good words for Huggy. He's just a fantastic guy all around.
I know for a fact he watches my videos, so I've always got a positive opinion on Huggy, so that's good there. Yeah, so hopefully we'll see him pick up the pace a bit more in these last few minutes. He's coming in to some will probably fit the intermediate tyres here. Although, is it me or is it like the track perhaps getting a little bit wetter than it was before? Is the rain getting heavier? Do you think, Pope? Or, it doesn't look like it's getting lighter.
I don't think it's getting lighter. I think we're in this balance period of, yes, the intermediates probably are a little bit faster, mainly just because you can heat them up a little bit quicker. I think that's probably the place for right now because, like you say, the line isn't getting any drier, and I feel like it's just that little too wet to run an intermediate for too long. But like I say, it makes it exciting for us because most who are pushing on the intermediates are really getting the most out of their tyres, and it is only for just one lap.
I see JB struggling for control a little bit going through the dinosaur there as he comes down the back straight towards turn number 4, towards the hairpin at turn 14. Pope, if you're in this situation on a track like this where you're sort of in that crossover period, what tyres do you go for and why?
I think I'd go for soft tyres, mate, to be honest. No, obviously, I think you have to go for the intermediates. You have to go big or go home, and I always try something very risky normally, and this season sadly hasn't paid out quite a lot of the times. You see Fan going P1 on those intermediate tyres by 3 tenths. I think that is clearly showing that as the driver's laying down their rubber, it's making it a little bit easier to use those intermediate tyres. So I think that would be the tyre I'd choose right now.
Yeah, I see both Grumio and Che on the wets right now, so by that sort of logic, we may not see them improving their times, but of course Grumio did go fastest on wets, so it could still happen theoretically, but he's got 3 tenths to close down on our current pole sitter Fan, who's yet to take a pole position all season. Of course, still running in 4th place in the Drivers' Championship, 20 points of his teammate BJ. Those two need some points. Chances are they'll maintain 2nd place in the Constructors here, so it looks like your old team will be finishing 3rd in the season.
Yeah, I haven't done them much of a favour, to be honest, this season with my points tally not being the best. I think probably my worst here in RDL. However, McLaren cannot take anything away from them. They've done a fantastic job this season, and they try something different every race. They're a real entertaining team to watch, not just driver-based, but strategy-based as well. It's awesome, all good fun.
I've got to say, I do enjoy the partnership between Fan and BJ. Of course, I know I've referenced this many times this season, but I think back to the 2nd race of the season in Saudi Arabia, where Fan was Fan's only winner this season as of right now, if my memory is correct, where those two line up together on the final restart, and Fan was on extremely worn tyres, and BJ held up the rest of the pack and defended from them so nicely so that Fan could go through and get the win. It's just a brilliant team play between those two. As Dan retires in the session with 3 minutes to go.
I think this is when everyone's going to be out now for their final laps in qualifying. Like I say, maybe the times aren't as quick as we expected normally here because they might be running dry setups. I'm very excited to see what happens. We see JB go 2nd on the grid, just behind Fan. This is going to get very, very tasty.
It is, but I wouldn't look now because Grumio's coming to the pit lane. He's fitted those intermediate tyres, so this could get very, very entertaining, or it could be over in a flash if he comes back up the pit lane, which he has time to do without doubt. But he's got about a minute or so to spare as he makes his way out of the Aston Martin garage now and comes onto the racing surface. So here we go. This could be where things get very interesting. He's going to get one shot, maybe. Actually, no, chance I think he will only get one shot on this lap. So it's got to be a good shot to make this one count. And Che is out down the racetrack. He's improving by 800 of a second as of right now after Sector 1. We'll see if that improves after Sector 2. But 5th on the grid, and he hasn't really got time to go back in as he goes 3/10 up now. So here we go. This could get close. As of right now, he's put himself on or around the front row. So it's close as Fan retires. And Fan's crashed the car just before the dinosaur here. What's happened to Fan? Run above Lemons. He may have just lost the car on the exit. And now any chance he has to try and improve his lap to put himself even further ahead in pole, it's now taken away. So this could be a struggle for him. He's actually watching on and hoping that no one comes out on top over him. As you see Che Oliver locking up into turn 14. I think he was looking up there into turn 14. It's hard to tell with the rain, but he's coming through here. He can get to the line about 10 seconds or so. I dare say he could potentially put the car on the front row. It's going to be very tight. We'll see what he looks like off the last corner. Toward the line, it's going to be very tight. He goes on pole! That was so close from Che Oliver. And the fact he's done that on wet tyres shows that it's still anyone's game here. Here comes JB off the last corner. It's going to be close for him. Might he go on pole? He won't go on pole. Stays in P3, but does improve crucially. Made things a bit easy on himself as Grumio comes through the dinosaur here. He's got just over a minute to get to the line. He'll get to there without doubt. Lemons goes 6th fastest there. He's improved by 3/10. And BJ a quarter of a second up. So everyone's getting a lot close together. If I was claustrophobic, I would not be liking how close this grid is right now. But we're looking, I've got a very exciting end to qualifying here, Pope.
No, it's getting really tense now. Drivers recharging their batteries for that one final shot. You can go very, very long on these tyres. That's what I normally do. I fuel up a car for a few runs in wet conditions. See Websy going into P5. This is going to get really, really chaotic very, very quickly.
Grumio over the line here to start will be his final lap of the session, looking to try and snatch another pole position for his season. He's been fantastic over one lap. He's been fantastic over the majority of laps he's driven this season. And to get my bearings in terms of how many poles he's got so far, because I've lost count at this point. As of right now, 17 pole positions in 23 rounds. He could make that 18 things as great from his. Lemons retires in the same place that Fan did, and I see JB who's sort of stopped on the racetrack there. He's very slow. He's just letting cars through, so he gets away nice and easy. Checker flags now forward when JB retires, and Grumio here already a quarter of a second up in the first sector. This could still be pole for him. Pope. We'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, no, he just needs to keep it clean now. He knows he's got the pace on these tyres, so just take the car home. You're going to be able to do it. You know that. He's been here, as you say, 17 times this season fighting for pole position. He just has to make sure you can see Lemon's car just despawning there. It looks like a nasty collision there for him. But it's gone a bit dull right now, but I'm going to say probably within the next 5 seconds you're going to see a lot more blistering lap times.
Definitely. Here comes PJ Khaled towards the line. He was a quarter of a second up on his last run. Over the line. He goes pole!
Pole!
145.8! That's going to be tough for Grumio to beat here. Could we see the Alfa Romeos, the car, bottom of the championship, put it on pole? It all comes down to what Grumio can do. Here comes Websy to the last corner here. What's he got to offer? Into the last turn and charging towards the line here. Could he try and snatch it? Alvar goes 4th. Websy on pole! Okay, but here comes Grumio though. It's going to be very close. He might have it in hand. It's going to be so tight to the line. He does it! By 3/10. Unbelievable stuff here.
Wow.
I don't have the words for the end of this qualifying. Grumio takes what looks to be his 18th pole of the season in quite dramatic style there. As I see someone start off. There goes Cotley gone for 15th. Legends coming towards the line. Lycon goes 11th. And here comes Legends over the line to take what will no doubt be. It's looking like perhaps staying around P13, P12 in the end. But Pope, what a fantastic finish. That's just qualifying.
I don't, honestly, whoever put their money to have them three in your top 3 for qualifying, you're going to be a millionaire. That is just fantastic. It's lovely to see other people fighting around the top, and now it's anyone's game. Yeah, no one knows who's running what setup right now.
That's the brilliant thing.
So exciting.
If it's raining, Pope, we've got another 40 minutes, 50 minutes of racing to come. So have a look at your top 10 here before we go into the race itself. Grumio will start on pole. You could have expected that, but no one expected him to start behind him. Websy and PJ Callaghan round off your top 3. Fantastic qualifying from them. Chase starts in 4th, Fan 5th, Alvar 6th, JB slips down to 7th, Lemons in 8th, a second back from pole, VJ 9th, and Ethan rounds at your top 10. So that'll be it for the moment. We're back with you in a few minutes' time for the start. Don't go anywhere, because this has the potential to be one of the absolute classic RDL races. So make sure to stick around. Welcome back, and ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Chinese Grand Prix, round 23 of season 14 in the Racers Driving League. Pope, what a qualifying system we just had. And I know it's dry now, but we've still got another 40 minutes or so of fantastic racing to come.
I am absolutely excited for this one, mate. As you said, the qualifying was just crazy to see Websy and PJ driving an Alfa Romeo, which is currently bottom of the championship in P3. This could be crucial points for that championship. And now we're looking at what seems to be a dry race. I can imagine the overtaking here being phenomenal.
Okay, this is going to be a hard one, Pope, but give me your top 3. Who are you saying?
I'm going to say, hear me out on this. I'm going to say Fan for a win.
Yeah.
PJ second. Third.
Who third, sorry? I didn't quite get that.
Grumio.
Grumio. Okay, so you're saying Fan, BJ, Grumio. Honestly, I can see that happening. It's going to be a very, very close race here, ladies and gentlemen. So make sure to stick around for it. Make sure to subscribe to the channel for all future RDL content. I think it's one of the first times of the season I have to make a short for the end of qualifying as you go for the formation lap here. Look at your starting tyres. The majority of everyone going for mediums and hards. No one's taking a chance this week. 4 medium tyre starters in the 16 car field. Top 4 all on those hard compound tyres, looking to go longer into that first stint. Honestly, Pope, it's anyone's game.
Oh, definitely, mate. As I was saying in qualifying, the McLaren's doing something a little bit different, both starting on the medium tyres.
Right, so here we go then. Grumio for the 18th time in 23 races, our newly recrowned Drivers' Champion, coming towards the line to set up in that P1 slot as Crofty finally stops speaking and lets me talk in peace. You see Websy lining up alongside him for Aston Martin, Ferrari, Alfa Romeo, your top 3. Pope, this is going to get crazy.
I think turn 1 round here is chaotic anyway. And now we have a shuffled up grid. This is going to be fantastic, mate. I cannot wait.
Definitely. Right, both championships wrapped up. Nothing to play for those leaders in terms of points. They can go all out. Bottom 3 teams, Williams, AlphaTauri, Alfa Romeo, all fighting to avoid being bottom of the championship, going into the reverse grid race in Brazil. 5 red lights for the Chinese Grand Prix, the penultimate round of the season. And for the 23rd time this season, it's lights out, foot to the floor. Go, go, go. Proel already with a drive through penalty for a jump start there. Poor getaway from him. There goes PJ around the outside. He's going to take the lead of the first corner. Fantastic stuff. Che up the inside into turn 1. Going to make it 3 wide with Websy and C110P fan for the 3rd spot. He's there. He's going to go inside the Aston Martin as well if he can. That'll be the outside for turn number 3. There's contact. Che gets away with it. And there goes Websy around. No, the front row starter. The Ferrari. Bring everyone back there into chaos. Already collision scene. Prolong, Courtney Goblin and Ferrari are in trouble here, Pope. Both their cars already back into the field, but PJ leads a crucial 25 points as of right now in possession for what could be huge for their Constructors' Championship chances.
What a crazy start there. Obviously, such a shame for the 2 Ferraris having a spin out and ended up now second.
Oh, there's PJ! The race leader on the opening lap. He saved it. Very close, but he's lost the race lead just like that, and Grumio's away.
These cars do not look comfortable on this track. We don't come here off.
Oh, and JB's out.
They're struggling. As this looks like there's going to be a collision here. Another massive collision there between, I don't even know who that was.
JB crashing. He's out of the Grand Prix, our first retire, and that'll be horrible news for AlphaTauri, who has just one car left in the race now. JB's called a red flag. It's been called for a red flag.
Well, here in China, after a chaotic race start, not sure if all the message has gone to the drivers as yet, but I'm sure everyone will be coming into the pits and resetting for that race.
Definitely. Right, we're about to go for an intermission here so we get the red flag sorted. We're back with you guys in a few minutes here for the restart. All right, so back then from the red flag, and we're getting going once again in a minute's time or so. Probably a bit of a crazy start there first time round.
Yeah, very, very crazy. Obviously, turn 3 provided the first incident, and then a retirement from the AlphaTauri caused the red flag. And now all the drivers now back up on the grid, ready to get in that mental preparation again of starting this race.
Thing I want to ask is, do we know what happened to PJ on the start? 'Cause he led away quite brilliantly there. He took the lead from third on the grid and then sort of lost it in sector 2.
I think, yeah, his start was immaculate, and I don't know if he just heated up his tyres a bit too quickly. Obviously, it's a very different way of driving between wet and dry, and I think he might have just got a little bit confused in a way. I don't know if that's the best word to describe it, but it can happen. You're not ready to go into a dry race with all this grip. I feel like he's just overcooked his tyres and lost the car.
Right, here we go then. 30 seconds away from the second start of this Grand Prix, and hopefully be able to get back to racing quick, and we'll hopefully be in for some more exciting stuff. Of course, the race can look to be all dry despite the clouds overhead, which is sort of annoying given the wet qualifying we had was so entertaining. But we get jumping in to the second start for this Chinese Grand Prix. Of course, there's this and one more race next week, the reverse grid finale in Brazil, which is always an exciting one. So we'll look forward to seeing what goes on here as the Formation Light gets back underway once more. So there we go, Gremio leads them away. In terms of any change in starting tyres, looks like everyone's more or less about the same. One less driver on the medium tyres there. We've only got 3 now. So Fan, Alvar and BJ. McLaren's and Alvar going for the mediums, everyone else on the hards.
Yeah, not surprised there once again by McLaren going completely opposite to the rest of the grid. I feel like, especially if we've had a red flag, a safety car might be happening. So I think they're going to really, really rely on that. But it'll be exciting to see what they can do off the start of the race.
Definitely. Here comes Gremio then once again, leading us around for the second start from his 18th pole position in 23 rounds. Again, he's been brilliant in qualifying. Of course, he's been brilliant in general, and he'll be hoping that leads into the race there. Given the first start, where PJ had such a great getaway, he was able to go around the outside of the Aston Martin into turn 1. Could he do it again, do you think?
I think definitely he's already got that mental edge over the rest of the grid of, I've already got a good start, I can do it again. And the other drivers might be pushed a little bit too hard to try and match PJ's excellence from the last race.
Here we go then, looking at that second start then. So, Alfa Romeo, AlphaTauri, Williams, they're our main focus. Trying to avoid finishing bottom of the championship for the second start here in China. It's lights out, foot to the floor. Go, go, go. Alvar doesn't get away there. What has happened to the Williams? And there goes the Williams off the track. And Legend's been caught up in it already. There goes Callum around the outside into turn 1. Can't quite get in front of Gremio. He leads into the first corner. Chap the inside of now. Here comes, he's on the inside of the Alfa Romeo as well. It's not been the best of getaways there from PJ compared to the last start. Gremio away. Nice and clean, but Legend's already out.
Yeah, awful for Legends. Just bad luck starting behind Alvar, who could not seem to get his car under the way, and that ripped off his front left tyre. See Websy trying to make a move on the inside of Fan. It is getting very, very tight between these drivers right now.
Yellow flag. That's Alvar off at turn number looks like through turn number 2, and the virtual safety car already deployed.
Yeah, I'm not too sure who was ahead of between BJ and Websy. I think it might be BJ, but they are literally side by side during this VSC.
It looks like Mum and Websy. Well, actually, no, sorry, you are right. It was BJ because he's letting back through there. So yeah, so BJ in 5th, but Gremio away by 1.6 seconds already.
Yeah, Che moving into second, a lot better start, but a fantastic start there by BJ, who is now up with Fan. The medium tyres really paid off. Surprised we do not have a main safety car or even a red flag after that start, but I think the drivers should regroup their thoughts a little bit now and get ready to go as the lights go green.
Green flag back out then, back to racing here, and it's all single file going towards that hairpin at turn 14. And it looks like there goes Fan moving out to that right hand side to pass PJ. Move back into the line now, but we have to go side by side into 14. BJ very late on the brakes there, goes wide. Laz Websy back into the battle will continue on between those two. Fan wins the scuffle against PJ and will now look to try and take on Che if he can, but Gremio leads the first of the 28 laps here at China. We've got a car going way wide there. That was Lycon has to rejoin the racetrack, and around goes the Williams of that. That was Dan who's gone around. Is he out of the race? He's not out of the race, but I think he's got damage here. A damaged front wing. The end plate on that car has gone. One of the end plates in this car has gone, and he has to go. Has to drive another lap here before he gets going again. As Websy looks to take BJ for P5. He will take BJ for P5. So those two are going at it brilliantly in the opening laps of this Grand Prix.
Yeah, no, the driver's getting very aggressive. You normally see this after a red flag here in IDL. all the drivers want to make up as quickly as they can to make sure they are ready in case of another incident. But that's a great move down the inside of Websy there by BJ, and that's left Websy under pressure by the AlphaTauri, and Hasu are going side by side from this very technical sector. Some fantastic racing.
Definitely. Great stuff on offer so far here. JB on the inside, Like on the outside. Someone's had to back out of it. JB over the curbs a little bit. Like on a bit wide off his line as they head towards the aptly named Dinosaur sector on the circuit. Into Sector 3 they come. Side by side, still going at it. And I think that JB's got the seed here, but he's got to be careful because Ethan's up to his inside, going around that right hand of the Stegosaurus head as they come through the exit of turn 13 and charge towards 14. I'll keep on using that phrase as much as I can over the rest of these next 26.5 laps this race. Making their way down this next straight where, of course, DRS will be crucial next time round as Fan closing on J. Oliver. Not close to go for a move just yet. Ethan on the outside of Lycon going into the corner, but it looks like Lycon may have locked up a little bit, and Ethan can't quite switch back, so holds station in P8 as Grimio comes through to lead lap number 2, sets the fastest lap in the process, and race control will label DRS as here comes Fan closing in on Che, but won't go for a move to turn 1. Not the wisest place to go for it, and there's the message from race control confirming that rear wing can open as they charge towards turn 14 next time round.
Yeah, you're going to see a lot of overtaking happening now with the DRS being open, but obviously Lycon and Ethan through turn 3 going side by side. Fantastic bit of driving, and we do see Grumio leaving the session. Do watch out for that. You might see Che take the position there as Lycon tries to feint a move down the inside. Do watch out. I think Grumio will be dropping some positions right about now. You know,
dropping some time at least. He's got a 1.5 second cushion as of right now, so I think it'll be okay for the moment, but Che will close in on them. His mission now is to close in before they come through towards turn number 13. So he's got 3 or 4 tenths to close in, so he's got quite a gap to reel in the Drivers' Champion. Of course, this is the driver he's been chasing down all season long, apart from those stages where, of course, he led the championship, but he is focus also has to be on Fan behind him. So Che, right now, in a bit of a sandwich. There'll be no DRS from as Grumio rejoins, only losing a few tenths. And here comes Fan then closing in as they run towards 14. DRS now deployed, and not to mention those medium tyres. So they come now towards the corner. He won't get closer to go for a move without doubt, but still could be a threat over the next couple of laps. Che ought to look out.
Yeah, this is the issue with the train racing aspect of this, where all the drivers have DRS, so everything kind of nullifies each other. You see Prolon make a fantastic move down the inside of Huggy there. Huggy without DRS, not able to defend off Prolon and Cottony. But some great racing on show for him.
Definitely
today.
Definitely, of course. Huggy's last race in the RDL for the foreseeable future. We're hoping to try and cap things off with some points here at the very least. As Prolog goes back up the inside, Cottony Goblin to retake P11. Those guys 3 seconds off the point scorers as it stands. So they've got to get their gap together. Hope for a yellow of some kind so they can close that gap back down again.
Yeah, the main battle is really between PJ, BJ and Websy. Those 3 really pushing together, with Ethan trying to catch up as quickly as he can, making a nice gap to JB behind him.
It's quite close to his top 3 as well. Really pulled away over PJ and those guys. Grumio, Oliver, Fan, all within about a second of each other right now. So this could get very, very spicy indeed. These guys can stay with the race leader, which I have no doubt they will as they come back through into turn 12. And now looking at turn 13. Good run is required here. Che needs a good exit. He's got one here, and Fan could be in position to try and take full advantage. Grumio gets away a little bit. He's up to about half a second now, but he'll have no DRS, but about half his DRS left in the tank as of right now. Che on the charge towards turn 14. It's going to be very close here. When they get to the corner, we try and go for a risk, go up the inside. We're going to try the outside here. Grumio defends inside, gets within the car. There's contact between the pair of them, tapping each other just a little bit. And Che is still all over the back of Grumio, but Fan even close to him in that McLaren. And Grumio's disconnected once again. He could be in trouble this time, Pope.
Yeah, most definitely. It's annoying when you do disconnect from these sessions. However, I'm sure he does have that pace to make sure when he comes back he'll be able to defend. But someone that I'm really looking at here is Fan with a mass amount of ERS. It is quite hard to save your ERS around this track. So he's in a very, very good position with the faster tyres right now. I
find it very hard to save ERS in general, so I can feel his pain in that respect. Che, right on the back of Grumio here, might go to the inside going into turn number 5. There he goes, looking underneath in the same sort of manner that Ricciardo did on Bottas in China in 2018. Che takes the lead, bit of contact on the way through. I doubt Grumio would be happy with that. No damage on the car though. And there goes Fana on the outside trying to make something happen through this left-hander. It's been very close at the inside line for the right. But I have to give it up again once again for this next left. This is a fantastic ding-dong battle for position. Fana around the outside. And just like that, Grimio's lost 2 places.
Yeah, and luckily for Jay, he's now gained nearly a second advantage over Fan, making sure he's at bay for that little bit longer. As we see a spin, I think further back. No, just a random yellow flag. It seemed like. I'm not too sure what that was about.
Potentially, no idea. I may have just missed it, unfortunately. Apologies there if we have missed anything. But Fan has still got DRS to be able to close back in, and Grimio will be able to keep pace him as well as he rejoins the session here. So let's start making his move here. We won't be too happy to learn he's lost 2 places. So he's got some work to do. He's getting back up to the front. But we know Grimio's approach to work his way through the field. He'll do it with relative ease.
Yeah, fantastic driver who makes the field look like butter, and he is the hot knife. He cuts right through it. It's remarkable.
Oh, yellow flag for the back. That is Dan has gone around once again here as it goes Fans to the inside looking for the lead of Chandler, and he'll take it as well. But he might go a bit wide though, and Chandler might try and find an opportunity inside, but can't quite get there. 3rd different leader of this race. It's now C110P Fan in control.
Yeah, Fan in a very good position here. However, around this track, you might just be racing in a train for a very long time. It's quite hard to keep a lead here, but then at the same time, it's hard to make a lead stretch as well.
Definitely. So we'll see just how he gets on with that, because he's on those medium tyres. The medium tyres working very well for the 2 McLarens so far. Those guys, of course, can't win the constructor anymore, but will still try and close as much as they can. Perhaps, I'm not sure they can still catch. I believe that they're just short of catching Chandler. I think they can only tie him. BJ can tie him, but Fan cannot. He can only finish as high as 3rd this season. But these points will help him massively, considering he's 20 back from his teammate. He'll score 25 right now, so he'll gain about 15 of those back. So he'll be close to the 2 McLarens going to the final race of Brazil, but I'm not sure they're too focused on the fight between each other.
No, definitely not. We know they're a very good team and they work as teammates very well. So at the end of the day, I think they're just here to score the most amount of points they can. As you see, BJ setting up a move here on PJ. Going into turn 15, he's got the pace, he's got the DRS, he's got the ERS, round the outside, making that move look easy. But is PJ going to keep the nose in? Yes, he does. Round that hairpin of turn 15, but PJ just cannot use the grip of the hard tires compared to the mediums and lose that position.
BJ then wins the first round, and we'll call the Battle of the Jays in the meantime. So Cope moves it into P4. We'll now start chasing down Grimio for the podium place. A double podium from McLaren. It's been a while since we've seen one of those. So hopefully for him, we'll try and be able to try and get that done. Yellow flags to that's down around again. He's really struggling in these opening stages of this Grand Prix, and perhaps could be in danger of going a lap down potentially if it keeps on going, because Fan is already making his way towards turn number 5 here. If my counting points is correct, I might be turn 6. I could be wrong, to be entirely honest, but he's making his way through the right hand here. But Che closing, trying to keep close to him. And this train could become a 4-car train if BJ closes in enough, but he's still towing BJ with him.
Oh, and Huggy just making a slight bit of contact there with Prolog. Such a shame for Huggy. He's trying to make a nice move down the inside to make sure he has 12th place, but Sally made contact and had to go onto the grass.
Happens sometimes, unfortunate for him. We want to try and close that gap back down and make a move on Proles, get it back. Yellow flag, and that is Courtney Goblin who's gone around. He's off in the gravel there, Pope. What's gone on with the Ferrari here? He's recovering the car without too much issue, but crucial stuff. He'll fall down to P13 here. Both Prolo and Huggy find their way through.
Yeah, through that section of the track, the car gets really, really unbalanced, and I think Prolo just slid sideways across the track. Just no grip at all on those hard tyres. I think the hard tyres are actually struggling quite a bit here.
Definitely, of course, the medium tyres, the ones that have the advantage right now. Only 3 of them running in the field. There goes BJ off the track there. What on earth has this gone on? I think he may have gone straight on into turn 14. He's going to lose a lot of spots here. He might even fall out the points if he's unlucky enough. He's going to fall down to P10, just behind the JB here. Unfortunate stuff for BJ, who recovers the car and now has got a lot of work to do. He goes off into the pit lane here, and I dare say his first stint will come to a premature end, Pope.
Yeah, I'm not really too sure what happened there. I've only caught the last bit of it, but it's weird to see his car that far down into turn 15. It's really bizarre. So I should say you're going to probably switch on to the hard tyres, I'm pretty certain.
Yeah, he is.
Hard
He go to the end of the race
try
almost.
and run them to the end of the race.
Definitely. Strategy, not too bad for him, of course. If he'd been any laps earlier, then he could have been in a bit more trouble in terms of running those hard to the end of the Grand Prix. He might have been considered perhaps going on to another set of mediums and maybe soft at the end of the race. Could change it to a 2-stop. I'm assuming that'll probably be what the plan is I reckon Fan will probably try and run these tyres as long as he can, maybe go on a set of softs at the end. It depends on how far he can make this first stint work. How many laps do you reckon we can get out of those mediums, Pope?
I think maybe around 12 laps. I think that would be quite a nice, comfortable place for Fan. It leaves him without massive options. He'll be nearly halfway into the race at that point, and that means you don't actually have to run the hard tyres that much. That was something that's quite prevalent around this track, of you actually don't want to be on the harder tyre for that much longer than the mediums.
What sort of strategy would you employ, Pope, around? Because I know you in your time you've been a big fan of the alternate strategy in your career. So what would your plan be for this race?
Definitely a medium hard, or even a 2-stop if I had the pace to make it work. But it all down to qualifying, as we see Websy and Ethan having another fantastic ding dong. This track is providing some very, very close side-by-side action.
Oh, that was close. Almost made contact that last corner, but Ethan will have DRS try and close back in on Websy, try and stay with him for the time being. Those guys really going at it here, because it's been a fantastic battle between these two in the Drivers' Champions as well. Just 5 points separating them. Ethan leads by 5. Those guys have fallen back from Mr. TJ a little bit. Of course, he's not here tonight, so they're closing some points. So we could see a three-way battle for the 6th spot in the championship. I think Landlord's safe in 5th though. We did think for a few minutes that he may be able to join the race after the red flag, but that wasn't meant to be here. So of course, it's his last race in the RDR next time out. So of course, we'll be sad to see him go, as well as Huggy, who's now a place away from the points.
Yeah, Huggy's doing fantastic, and I'm really, really hoping he can at least salvage 1 point for this race. He's only 3 seconds off Pro Wall. He's keeping very good pace here.
He's closing in, but looks like down to 2.7 seconds now. So we'll see what comes of that in the next couple of laps or so. Fans still in control here. We're on lap number 9 of the 28 to make up this Grand Prix. So we're about a third of the way through the race, if my maths are correct. Almost a third of the race through. So, and I think Grimmy will be the next threat to try and take on Che if he can get close to him. He's about at least less than half a second behind. DRS is there for him, but Che is already closing back in on Fan. He's almost in a world of his own right now, despite being separated by less than a second from the car in front and the car behind. But it almost feels like he's in no man's land right now.
That is what happens. I always say the 6/10 rule. If you're within 6/10 of the driving, you're more than likely going to be able to make a move. As soon as you're a little bit over that, there's no point even trying to fight for a move. You have to use your natural pace to try and build that gap up, or narrow that gap, should I say. And that is kind of the rule I have in my head when it comes to overtaking.
I explain a lot of my career mode episodes in that respect. I fall back quite a lot. Right, Fan still in control. Those medium tyres are still doing their job. They're holding out after these first 9 laps. We'll see how much longer he can make them hold out for. But he said around 12 laps, perhaps even 13 if he could, if he's been saving them well enough, because we had that virtual safety car in the first lap, so he perhaps saved them just a little bit, not by much, but perhaps enough.
Yeah, definitely. I think the longer you can go into this race, the better your opportunity is. As we see, is that
BJ round in the last corner.
Last corner, it's just not going well here for BJ. I can imagine the frustration in that helmet right now, just building up. It's something that you just hate to see.
Yeah, it's all falling apart from the last couple of laps, especially with that move he made into 14. I'm assuming in that instant he was going late on the brakes to try and get around someone. He just sort of went straight on with it. So unfortunate for him. He had to bank on a safety car to get himself back into this Grand Prix here. But I wouldn't say it's over for him. I'll tell you who it definitely isn't over for. Huggy Bear. He's now down to 1.3 seconds on Pro Last Pope. So perhaps points finished, still on the card too. Still got about 19 laps to go. And as I said, he almost got around there. I'm gonna stop talking about Huggy because I don't want to jinx it at this stage of the Grand Prix. I feel really bad for myself. I wouldn't be able to forgive myself if I did in the man's last race. So we'll keep an eye on him as this one goes on. We'll go back to the battle at the front here with Che now within half a second of Fan, but those hard tyres just aren't carrying him enough against the mediums to try and make a move for the lead.
Yeah, no, he's definitely gaining on the Fan. A little wobble there in the dirty air by Che. He's definitely gaining on the medium tyres. However, Fan's doing a fantastic job. Someone who is doing a fantastic job is Ethan, right behind Websy and PJ now. That battle for 4th is going to get very tasty with Lemons gaining on the group ahead. This could get really, really chaotic.
Definitely. We've still got 4 seconds to close in. It's got some work to do here, but we're setting Lemons' pace up to the best of times. So I see nothing wrong with him besides trying to stick those pace away. Excuse me, I was yawning from over there. Not quite sure what happened. But PJ in control of that little pack as of right now, and almost a second clear of Websy. Trying to get himself out of that 1 second range so he can forget about any threats of DRS. I'm assuming that's what Fan wish he could do right now. Look how close these guys are now. About 6 or 7 tenths separates them as a whole. Yeah, 6.5, we'll call it 6.5 tenths. And I expect, of course, that's not normally what we do. We're about 6,500. We get it, 6 tenths. Regardless, they're closing in on him. This could get very, very juicy and deep, folks. Here they come towards turn number 14. And they're all nose tails around the corner. This could get very, very dicey. Both cars are DRS. Yellow flag for the back. I believe that's Cotton and Huggy. Maybe has some kind of contact. And there goes Chase inside to take the lead. Grumio makes it 3 wide going in towards turn 14. The two former championship rivals side by side. Grumio looking for it on the exit. Going through turn 15. Who comes out on top? Chase or side by side. And they almost come to blows there. There's contact between the pair of them. Going into that final corner. And Che comes out on top as Fan pulls into the pits. But there goes Grumio back to the outside. This battle isn't over yet.
This is a fantastic battle, but something that needs to be watched out of is Fan made a perfect chance to pit.
Where's contact again?
Best thing he could have done. The best thing he could have done. This is going to leave them to battle and let them squabble it out. They're going to lose time. Fan is not going to lose that much time pitting and getting those new tyres up to scratch. This is fantastic strategy by the McLarens.
Oliver then comes over the lead over Grumio then. As you say, Pope, so that's a brilliant move from the McLaren team to get him back out onto the racetrack in a bid to hopefully still try and take this victory. We'll see just what goes down. What a fantastic battle that was for position. Very little contact between these two guys who have been so respectful of each other all season long in terms of that championship fight, of course, which is over now, unfortunately. But Chase still showing that he's still got that bit of fire left in him to try and take on Grumio. I hope we'll see a lot more of that next season in particular, going into season 15 on the brand new game, which honestly it could be anyone's game. This game has been largely Grumio's. He's won both championships. The combination of Grumio and Landlord have won all 4 titles on offer in the ODL this season and last season as well on this game. So we'll look to see if someone can end their reign in season 50 on F1 23.
Yeah, no, it'd be really exciting. Like you say, it's a new game. No one knows what's going to happen. It's my mindset. I went into 2021, which luckily brought me my first and only RDL title here. But that was an exciting time, and I cannot wait to see who will be able to do it next year.
Definitely, we're hoping that someone can bring an end to the 6-time champion's reign for he makes it number 7 potentially in season 15. I have to wait and see though. Regardless, right now he's still very close to the tail of Che Oliver's Mercedes as they come to that last corner onto that number 13 of this Chinese Grand Prix. Still 16 laps to go. Anything could still happen. Webbs is still there in 4th place. Now he's up to 4th place. He's still closing on PJ and Ethan right there as well. Lycon now in 6th place because when Fan pitted, so did Lemons as well. So he's down to P10 as JB gets a 3-second time penalty for multiple points. It's the first penalty for track limits of the night. And Huggy made his first also. He's down into P13 right now. He's on those medium tyres. Perhaps we're looking at another stop on those.
Potentially, yeah. I mean, obviously we saw Fan take them 12 laps, and obviously with less fuel, you're actually using less tyre wear. So he should be able to take them just to the end of the race. But Fan is in clean air, 9 seconds of clean air. So this is going to be perfect for him and his strategy.
Definitely, he can't push too much in terms of because he doesn't want those tyres to run out towards the end of this race. But I doubt they will. It'll be going about 16 laps on them overall here, maybe 17 if I remember what lap he pitted on lap 11, didn't he? To be correct.
Yes, lap 11 to 12.
Yeah, so yeah, in that sense, yeah. So he's taking about 16, 17 laps. Still a long way to go. So of course he's the first car on track to have made his stop. In terms of position change in this Grand Prix, the drivers who've gained the most right now being Ethan and Lycon, because Lycon's yet to make his stop. He's got cars behind him who stopped already. As Grumio takes the lead away from Che into turn 14. This battle's going to reignite itself once again. Yellow flag, and that is Dan has gone around just in front of them. He might have to, almost going to rejoin in front of the 2 racers. That could have been very scary if he'd chosen to do so. Che all over the back of Grumio here. You see the on-board cam here, right on the rear end of that Aston Martin as they charge towards turn 1. This was at F1 23 already, if I do say so myself. Going towards turn 1, Grumio got covered off into that first corner. Over the curves they go at turn 1.
Yeah, fantastic battling by these. And sad to see Dan retiring on the entrance.
Oh, a safety car. Oh, and that could be perfect for Fan because everyone in the top 7 in front of him has missed the pit lane. So Fan is in an absolutely glorious position. He comes back into the pits. Fan is making another change. I think Dan crashed the car going into the pit lane. So Fan back in.
It's crazy. I mean, would he have got the position back from the 2 race leaders if they pitted? I'm not actually too sure under the safety car.
What are the geniuses in McLaren thinking?
Mediums. On a new set of mediums. This is very smart by McLaren. They obviously had a spare set of mediums because of our red flag. So he's now going to be on the same tyres as the 2 race leaders.
I believe
maybe in his head. he thought he could only get third. I'm not too sure, to be honest. This is really, really different by the McLaren team.
I believe he would have had the medium tyres anyway because it was a wet qualifying so he didn't use them during quali. But yeah, so regardless, fresh set of mediums on the car. I mean, you're pretty right, I could be wrong in that respect. But these guys up front must be so frustrated about the fact that the strategy hasn't gone their way. But most likely they will emerge back in front of the McLaren, and he's got the Ferrari, got the Goblin just in front of him as well. Chances are these guys will emerge out in front. So it might not be brilliant for them. Fan staying out, fan pitting again, may have lost him a decent amount of track position here. I have to wait and see just what happens. But I dare say these guys will come out behind. Sorry, Fan will come out behind these guys if I have a look at things. As of right now, he's about 53 seconds back, and I can tell you right now, it doesn't take 53 seconds to go down the pit lane. I have to wait and see what the plan is. Who comes out the pit lane first for these guys? Chase
This
in.
is where it all comes down to the pit crew and who can do it the fastest.
Chase
And
away.
making sure people don't get blocked. That's a crucial part of this.
Premier comes out in front there, only just avoiding getting blocked by the Silver Arrow. PJ's in, Webbsy's in, everyone, that top 7, all into the pit lane here. And Fan will come out, look like he'll come out in P8 here, because everyone is going to get out in front of him. So track position lost there. So was that really the right call to pit again?
I'm not too sure. I think at the end of the day, it's now nullified everyone. Everyone's going to be on the same tyres. Everyone's going to be on the same age tyres. So it's now just going to be a free-for-all for the end of the race. But it's not great looking for Fan.
The decision to pit from those hard tyres, and then only done about 3 laps or so of them. So honestly, he could hold them to the end, but perhaps he knew everyone was going to pit for mediums because he knew they had to. So pitting again, he's made sure he's on a level playing field with everyone else at the sacrifice that track position. So he must be confident he can get back up to the field here. So anything could still go
he's got
down.
the pace. He has the pace, definitely. He was leading the race for quite a lot of it, obviously on a different tyre set, no doubt. But I feel like Fan, he's able to compete most definitely.
That's the crucial thing for him right now. He needs to rely on that pace to getting back up to the front of the field, and that allows that allows Huggy to also make change. Going to a fresh front wing as well, so those guys catch back up to the front of the field. 13 cars left in the running this Grand Prix. We've seen Dan, Alvar, and Legends all drop out the order. Both Williams cars out of the race. Both AlphaTauris in the points. One Alfa Romeo in a podium position right now. It's not looking good for Williams. I dare say these guys are going to be finishing bottom as it stands. Should things not change in Brazil, that's where it's all going to come together for them.
Yeah, no, Brazil has to be a perfect race for Williams. I'm not sure where they'll be starting on the grid. Obviously, we do the reverse grid here at RDL based on season performance. So it'll be exciting to see where they start, but they have to nail absolutely everything in Brazil.
Look at the standings going as of right now. It's looking like Dan will be on pole position and Alvar will be starting in ninth place. By the looks of things. So both cars starting in the top 10, and I have PJ Carr starting in the bottom 10. So PJ needs some points here, but he can't gain any places. He can only lose places as it stands in the Drivers' Championship. So honestly, we have to see what happens there. We've still got 12 more laps to go in this race. That could still change, but it's everyone on those medium tyres now, and it's anyone's game towards the end of this one.
No, this is exciting now. This is one of the best parts of the race where everyone is in the same boat as you, and it now really comes down to driver skill and ability.
Definitely. I said in the qualifying, it's potentially one of the absolute RDL classics, which obviously I've been around for too many of those, but we're looking at what should be no doubt an exciting final 10-11 laps or so this Grand Prix. We've still got about I dare say we're restarting on around lap 18 because we're still waiting on Lemons, Cotty Goblin, BJ and Huggy to all close up to the back of the field before we go back to racing again.
Yeah, obviously, as we know, the safety car comes in after 3 laps. I think it's already been round for... Is this his second lap around? Or maybe it's third lap around? I'm not too sure.
Not sure myself either. We'll see who is closed and we get back to racing. I'm hoping that they'll allow time for Huggy to catch up, because in a situation like this, where anyone could still score points, I want to see him score points.
Yeah, no, I would love that. You never know, there might be even a very, very big collision, and people are going to be pushing very, very hard now to get points, like you say. And it could favour Huggy. I really hope it does.
We'll see here. Grimio is the one in control. Oliver second. These two have been gunning for the lead throughout the day here. PJ the unlikely third place starter here, still running in third place. It's going to be close for him.
He's done fantastic, PJ. Honestly, he's a great driver. I was actually teammates with him at some point during my IDL career, and it was fantastic to race alongside him. He's a very, very good driver, and both Alfa Romeo have not had a great season, as we all know visually from the standings. The drivers are fantastic, and I think they've just been really unlucky.
I'm going to have to agree with you there, Pope, if I'm being honest. In terms of that Constructors' Championship, as of right now, the points going into tonight's race, as it stands, just 1 point separating Williams from AlphaTauri, and then Alfa Romeo in 10th in the standings. They're just 4 points covering these three teams to us. It's honestly anyone's game still, but Williams, they came into this race, the car's in control, and they knew coming into this one that perhaps if the teams below them scored so much as just 1 point, they could be in trouble. And that's what's happening here right now.
It's a bit more than 1 point. It's 15 points for PJ Callan as it stands. That's a crazy amount of points. That is going to pretty much give them a huge boost into warranty 7th in the standings just from one race. Obviously, we have Brazil to go, but 15 points is a lot here in Formula 1.
Definitely. Of course, you look at AlphaTauri as well, as of right now, scoring 6 points. But that could change with JB's 3 seconds. Lycon's got 3 seconds as well. Haas safe in 7th in the Constructors, and could potentially nick 6th off Ferrari. But they'd need Websy out of the picture right now, because Websy's running in 4th place. It's the last couple of cars to make their way up to the back of the pack. So we are going to get a restart this time round, I dare say. We're going to get everyone with a good chance of scoring points. Everyone's on the same sets of tyres, same amount of wear, save for those penalties. It's a level playing field for everyone going into these last 11 laps or so of this Grand Prix. So it's anyone's game.
Yeah, you have to make sure now. This is the crucial point of making sure the tyres are nice and warm. Luckily, we have a big long straight for you to do that on. So there's no point really doing it as of yet. You want to do it on that straight. Make sure they're in a nice temperature window. 85 to start off with. That's awesome. That's the real place where you want them. But as Grumio, as we know, likes to hold up the drivers around 70 miles an hour around the corner, which would probably take 130. It shows you the pace deficit that he likes to have compared to the safety car.
It's obviously been a while since he raced here in the RDL. Pope, if you were the leader in this restart, when would you go?
I'd go quite early, to be honest. I feel like the run into turn 1 isn't actually that bad. You don't really get that many moves because of how technical 2 and 3 are straight after it. So I think Grumio's doing the right thing, letting the safety car run off means we can get an earlier restart.
Here we go then. 11 laps left to decide this Chinese Grand Prix. He's going to go now. Here we go, back on the way. Back to racing. Che still sticking with him, but Grumio looking to get away here. Using that natural pace. Che goes wide there off the last corner. PJ gets loose on the exit. Websy could try and take advantage. Top 3 will stay single file as they come off the last corner to begin the last stage of this Grand Prix. Towards turn 1 they come.
That's a great restart by Grumio. Done exactly what was planned. And again, as you see JB looking for a move maybe inside of Lycon. No, Lycon shuts that door. All the drivers being single file right now. But I'm sure that's going to change as soon as DRS gets activated. Definitely.
One driver struggling in that case is PJ, one of just 3 drivers right now who is out of DRS range from the car in front. Those other 2 cars being C110P Fan and Prolol. But only just out of it as Fan goes back in. I think Prolol might go back in as well. Very tight for those 2 this early on.
Yeah, no, PJ is probably in the sitting duck position. You've got 2 incredible drivers that are bound to pull away just because of their sheer speed. That's not anything to be ashamed of. However, that puts you in a position of you're the one that's not going to be able to get DRS, so he has to play this tactically with PJ.
There goes JB to the inside of Lycon going into turn number 12. Doesn't quite get there, goes over the curve a bit too much, gets loose, and Fan can try and take advantage with the full battery tank he's got. JB's used a lot of his so far, he's down to about 62%. Fan's used almost nothing of his, so I dare say he could go on the attack now, going down towards 14.
Yeah, like I said, it's crucial to save as much ERS as you can. Fan realistically wants to try and get P3, so he needs to save that ERS for when things become a little bit more tense later on in the race.
Definitely, we won't have long to make that lap, so we'll be getting DRS back as it stands on lap number 20. The top 2 have pulled away massively here at the end of this opening lap of this restart, both of them setting the fastest lap in the process. Prolo with a penalty himself, and that will not help AlphaTauri's chances at all here. Both cars have penalties. It's going to be very, very close. Huggy Bear dropping back here from the rest of the field. Down in P13 right now as BJ and Courtney Goblin go side by side through turn number 1 and through turn 2 now. The McLaren gets up in front. He's only a place away from getting back in the points. But unfortunately for Huggy right now, he's fallen back.
Yeah, it's a shame for Huggy, but it's not over until that checkered flag flies and you see JB making a move on the outside of Lycon. A lovely move there by JB.
Very nice.
Using quite a lot of his battery, but he knows he's going to hopefully be in the DRS of Ethan. That's what he's praying for, to make sure he can defend off Lycon behind when it gets activated.
Definitely, he wants to try and pull a gap over the rest of the field, because let's not forget, he's got 6 seconds worth of penalties. I thought he only had 3 initially, but he's actually got 6. Not sure we're winning up the second one, but regardless, we're pushing on here. Back up front, these two, there's 2 leaders still getting away here. 1.8 seconds between Che and PJ right now. That's going to be about 2 seconds when they come down this next straight. Webbsy in 4th, 6/10 back. He's been there more or less all day here. And just looking to try and close that gap as best he can as they come down towards turn 14. Once again, all single file here. No one going for anything just yet. Everyone quite spaced out. But DRS come back into play next lap. And I dare say it should bring us close together.
Keep an eye on Lemons, who sees a red light flashing at Prolo. Prolo goes defensive as Fan passes Lycon. Lemons follows suit on the outside of Prolo, late on the brakes. Prolo forcing him as wide as he can, but it just looks like Lemons has got the traction on Prolo. Down the inside into turn 16, and he secures the move.
Good stuff from Lemons there. Grimeo sets the fastest lap onto lap 20 as DRS now redeployed once again in this Grand Prix. And we'll see what effect that has. Massive train here. JB's leading a DRS train of about 5 cars or so. So we'll see what comes of that. Webbsy right on the back of PJ, not willing to give an inch in, not giving up in that race for a podium place, and looking just to try and shut him down that bit more. PJ trying to nab a podium if he can.
Yeah, Webbsy has been loving a P4 spot this entire season, so I'm pretty sure he would like to progress one further and get a podium, and he's in a very, very good spot to do so.
Definitely, of course. As he finished on the podium, I'll have a quick look here. I don't believe he has finished on the podium yet. He finished at once in Hungary and again at Imola, so 2 podiums from this season. He's looking for a 3rd one if he can, because it's been quite a while since Hungary, so let's see what he can do to try and get around PJ here and put himself on that podium. But DRS coming up in a few corners, that'll help him massively here. Yellow flag, and that is, I'm not sure it's gone around. That's Huggy's gone around, no! The Alfa Romeo of Huggy spins off.
A shame, man. That is so annoying for us and everyone at home, I'm sure, being big Huggy Bear supporters. That is so annoying for his last race to be now 9.5 seconds. But Huggy, keep pushing. You never know what can happen.
Definitely, mate. Lycon up into P8 over Lemons here. Prolon not too far behind either. Those two could try and reignite that battle for the top spot. It looks like Che is just falling out that 1 second range. Could be pulling away here. We're into the final 8 laps this Grand Prix. Lap 21 now underway. Webbsy half second back from PJ. Still trying to close in and take that podium place.
Yeah, don't count out Ethan. Ethan on very good ERS right now, and we know he's been having such good pace. We see lovely battles here between Lycon and Lemons, who have been trading positions the entire races. Lycon on the outside and Lemons keeping it tight. Prolong just behind Polo, wheel spinning through there. That was crazy, and I think Fan makes a move down the inside of JB.
There he goes on the exit, looking to try and make it happen. They're still going side by side for more or less the entire lap so far. The entire first sector, looking to go about half the lap side by side. There they come through the left-hander. Fan the inside for the right. That's to try and get in front of the AlphaTauri here. These two still going at it. Fantastic battles all around here in China. There goes JB to the inside on the exit of the corner, looking to try and get in front if he can. It's the same place where he spun during qualifying. And Fan was where Fan spun in qualifying, if my memory serves correctly. Almost took pole position, fell off at the end of qualifying, and now looking to try and nab some more points if he can. BJ not in the points right now. He's currently looking to try and score the only ones from McLaren at this stage.
Yeah, no, it's a great battle. I don't think we should take our eyes off the battle between JB and Fan, as Fan's going to get DRS, going to go down the inside.
What a run.
Red lights flashing, loads of ERS being used, and makes that move very, very cleanly on JB.
Easy as you like for C110P Fan, who of course was crowned champion of the Takeover Racing League just last Thursday, so still perhaps on a bit of a high from that as he makes it to the last corner to begin the 22nd lap of the 28 that make up this Grand Prix. Not long to go now. We are reaching those last few laps, and Grumio is keeping himself out of that 1 second range very nicely right now.
Yeah, Grumio's very much controlling this race. He knows he's got more ERS than Che, and I feel like Che is going to bring this home in second. because that's all he can do. Grumio's pace right now is just unmatchable.
Blistering speed as of right now. And you see the battle for P3 here. PJ Webbs is still going at it, but Ethan is now within that 1 second range too. So we could see what we saw between the top three earlier on, Grumio, Oliver and Fan. And Fan's not too far back either. He's got around JB now and he's trying to close down that 2.4 second gap towards P5. So a late podium could still be on the cards here for Fan. Could try and get back up to recover where he was, but I'm sure he would have preferred to be in with a shot for the win today.
Yeah, no, this just makes you want to get back to racing. Honestly, the battles have been spectacular. This is what you get when you get a wet qualifying. It shakes up the grid and it leaves you with some crazy scenarios of a driver who is driving a bottom three team in P3. This is amazing stuff.
You're hoping he can hold on here. Yellow flag, and that's Fan around with the exit of turn 13. The McLaren spins off the inside of the track. BJ up into the points here. Courtney Goblin takes over P11, and Fan down to P12 now. It's all falling apart for him. Around he goes. Donuts on the exit. Pirouettes on the exit of turn 12. Recovers the car here, and then Huggy might have someone to fight here in the late stages.
Yeah, go on, Huggy, make a move, mate. Go on, lad.
Go on, Fan, lift for us just quickly. Just get this one in.
Yes! Go on, Huggy.
I don't think Fan will give in just yet. Nope, Fan lifts, and Huggy into P12 here. He's just 2 places off the points, but 12 seconds off of them right now.
Obviously, it's a shame for Fan, all in all. It's a hard place to recover the car on the exit of turn 14. It's banked, it means the tyres are going to light up, and that's what made him pirouette again. But it's still not over. You've got another 5 laps, maybe one more safety car. But it'll be nice to see him and Huggy have a little bit of a battle here. And
we'll see just who comes out on top of that little battle to come towards the end of this Grand Prix then. And speaking of his teammate, PJ Callan, still there in control of third place, looking for those points. Even if he loses out this point to these guys, 10 points going into this last round will still be very good considering how close these 3 teams are.
Yeah, like you said before, every point matters at this stage of the season. You've only got one more race. So if you can get even double-digit points, that'll be fantastic. And I'm sure the Alfa Romeo team will celebrate that immensely.
Definitely. Of course, we can't say no to the AlphaTauri boys either, who could still be on for points here if things go their way. They can stay out of range, those cars in behind them. As of right now, it's not looking like that. It's going to be very close here. I think JB is around 5 seconds in front of BJ, so he needs about another second or so in order to close it in. But BJ's got DRS here on the cars in front. There goes Lemons to the inside. Lycon going towards turn number 14. Into the hairpin they come. Lycon trying to defend the inside, but Lemons is already there and gets through on the inside, but a bit too deep there. Lycon trying to switch back on the exit, but can't get enough for off the corner. And Lemons leads them into the last turn to begin at lap 24. 5 more laps to go.
Yeah, turn 15 is an absolute nightmare to get your traction down. You've been full throttle for an entire straight, and your tyres are just cooling ever so slightly. So to get in a range of perfect traction is very, very hard, and that's what made Lycon not be able to attack Lemons once again.
Good stuff to always get insight from a driver and an RDL champion at that. So we'll keep on seeing just what happens in these closing few laps. Again, this battle for P3 still not closing as much as you might have hoped, but there's still a bit of time left. A mistake from PJ could be all Websy needs to try and get back into that fight for third place, but he's 6.5 tenths back right now, so it's looking unlikely, but he's got some work to do here. You said about your 6 tenths rule earlier, Pope. Is that coming into effect here?
I think definitely, yeah. I think that everyone's on the border of 6 tenths. You don't really know if you should start pushing or you should start worrying about the car behind. But I think Websy does need to start worrying behind because Ethan's getting ever so closer and he's got a lot more ERS from Websy.
Definitely, as is PJ. PJ's got about the same as Ethan right now, so Websy could be the odd man out in this case in terms of he's falling back as well. So Ethan could go for a run here towards this next corner. He's closing into about less than 3 tenths. Will he go for P4 here? DRS now wide open on the Red Bull as they charge towards the hairpin. Looking to make that move. BJ gets a penalty as well, so this will help AlphaTauri massively. And Ethan thought about it, didn't go for it. He might have locked the tyres just a little bit there, going towards 14.
Yeah, it's a shame. I think if I was Ethan, I would have just gone for that move there, use that little bit extra ERS, get my nose in, just to send Websy off. You need to get past PJ here. Websy, as you were saying, Zach, he's the odd one out with low ERS.
Definitely, and I think Ethan used quite a bit of his there. He used about a third of it down that DRS straight. So we'll see if he can get that back as soon as he can to try and close in on these guys. Look how close it is to his opening couple of corners. There's Prolol passing BJ into turn 1. These guys here all with 3-second penalties, so it looks like JB might just be safe here. He'll lose out to Lemons, so he'll finish P7 as it stands right now. But with these guys behind him, it's looking okay for him as it stands. And Prolol, 3 seconds around everyone, so he'll be looking to just try and hold on to where he is right now, because it's equal to the cars behind him and in front of him, so we just want to avoid getting another penalty here.
Yeah, no, he's done a very good job. Lemon's not one of his best races here. He's been fantastic in his first few races here in RDL. It's a shame that he's not been able to keep the hot streak running, but at the end of the day, he's still here driving. He's going to hopefully finish a race and in a good paying position as well.
Yeah, Conti's last couple of laps in the Grand Prix, we might try and take JB for P6 or get him regardless because of those penalties, unless something goes drastically wrong from him in his last couple of laps. But I think I want to try and take it on check. That's just kind of a driver that he is. It's good we have drivers like that who want the place, whether they're going to take it regardless or not. DRS wide open for Websy, trying to close back in on PJ here. He's about 3/10 back, but going into the corner, he won't have enough time to go for a move. And Ethan just back from him as well. Very, very close into 14 now on the exit. Webb's trying to find a way around him as Grumio comes through to cross the line. It's been a while since we've checked back with him with these two. 3.5 seconds opening up between the two leaders. 3 more laps to go.
Yeah, Grumio has got this in the bag if he does not make any uncharacteristic mistakes. Chase done a fantastic job to even get into second after qualifying P4. If memory serves me right, we've had quite a few laps around this Shanghai International Circuit, so quite hard to remember to that fantastic qualifying session earlier, but these two have done fantastic.
Indeed they have, and this fight for P3 still isn't over yet either. They're a lot closer now. It was 6/10 about 2 laps ago, but it's now about 3/10 between each one. So we'll see just who goes for what in these late stages. I think your 6/10 rule is getting thrown out the window here because these guys are all within range and they're going to be going for it like wild dogs in these last couple of laps.
Oh, definitely, yeah. No, this is when I would be realising this is my time to make a move. It's a bit annoying for Websy that he does not have the ERS to make that final push against PJ, but he has to just rely on a very good exit.
Definitely. We'll see what he can do this time. This comes through the dinosaur at turns 11, 12 and 13. We'll see what goes down here. A poor exit from PJ will also help him massively as well. We'll see what goes down this time. Off the corner they come. Both PJ and Ethan using ERS. There goes yellow flag behind us. JB's got around! JB losing the car.
Such a shame for Alpha Tauri in this very, very tight battle. They're now P9 and 10. As we see Ethan make a move on Websy. Websy trying to defend it. Ethan went in deep. Not able to make that move, and he's used so much ERS there that pretty much rules him out for the rest of this race here. Now going on to lap 27.
I dare say PJ's got this one wrapped up. We can't say that just yet, considering how close these guys are. Anything could still happen. Websy closing in. If you can try and find out the inside, you can definitely tell he'll go for it. Look how close he's getting to the back of that Alfa Romeo. Those guys looking for 15 points to really help their Constructors' Championship. There goes Ethan on the inside, going through turn 4, now towards 5 and 6. It's been very close here. Yellow flag, that's Hoggy, who's gone around the exit of 14, he's recovered the car quickly. P13 will be the best he can hope for today, unfortunately, in his final race. Websy all over the back of PJ, not willing to give in, but those tyres may have had, they've probably had better days, Pope. Look at everyone's tyres now. They're reaching the end of their lifespan. It could be difficult to go for anything more without taking too many risks.
Yeah, no, as we saw, Fan pitted on 12-lap-old mediums at the beginning of this race, so their tyres are going to be around probably 40-50%. They're going to be like skates on that car.
We'll see what goes on here between these three in particular. We won't take our eyes of this fight. Safe for Grumio coming around to check a flag just over a lap's time. Short of any problems for him going through his next couple of corners. He's got very little ERS, as has Che. Those two all set in stone for position by the looks of things. Websy doesn't have much ERS, but it might be close to go for a move here. But PJ using all of his ERS in attempt to try and stay in front. Websy closing in now. Does he go for it? PJ defends the inside. Websy going to look to the outside. He's going to look upstairs into 14. It's going to be very, very close between these two off the corner. PJ on the inside. Websy gets a run here. This going side by side towards turn number 16. It's been very close here into the corner. PJ gives him room. The side by side of the last corner to start the final lap of this Chinese Grand Prix. The race for third is on.
This is going to be fantastic. Can Websy keep it round the outside of
He's going to do it.
To make it inside of P2?
He's done it. He's taken away.
Not rule out PJ yet, who's about to get overtaken by Ethan. Ethan having to switch into the other side. This now all comes down to the Stegosaurus head and the DRS section of this track. We know that PJ's got more ERS than him, but will Websy be able to stretch his lead through the technical part of Sector 2?
We'll have to wait and see, but I'll tell you who is still stretching the lead. Grumio is coming around here on his final lap, about to add another victory to his collection for season number 14. course, he took pole position in a race that's been as brilliant as this. It still feels like somewhat routine to see Grumio snatching both the pole and the fastest lap and the race victory, but it's just the sort of thing we've seen from him. Even the race Kelso, because PJ goes a bit wide there, Ethan could try and take advantage, and I dare say that'll be the end of the matter for P3 unless any more DRS comes into play. Meanwhile, here comes Grumio towards turn 14, 4 seconds over Che Oliver, who had to settle for second today. These two have gone for it hammer and tong throughout the entire Grand Prix. And it's Aston Martin will be emerging on top. PJ has no DRS here. Ethan's got all of it as they come towards 14. Websy looks safe for third. The podium all set. Grumio comes towards the final corner into turn 16 for the 28th and final time. A run to the line to win the Chinese Grand Prix. Checker flag is there for Aston Martin. Over the line, he skids it and wins once again. Tail home for second. And Websy, after all that fighting, takes away P3 on the final lap and comes home in third place. What a race.
Yeah, fantastic there. A lot of weaving done by the top 5. Lemons coming home in P6. Really good point collection there for Red Bull. Lycon in 7th, BJ in 8th after having a struggle right before the safety car. He's done very, very well. And as we see, the rest of the pack come round. JB falling outside the points. Not great news there for AlphaTauri in the constructor standings. However, Alfa Romeo will be delighted with that result.
And here he comes. The last car's finished the race, unfortunately for him, but still coming to the end of a stellar career in the Racers Driving League. The Huggy Bear 89 to complete his career in this league. Fantastic race. Unfortunately, it could have been more for him, but we're sad to see him go. But today's his day. So farewell to him. We'll see if we can get him in to talk to us on the interviews at the end here, along with our podium finish, just to get some final words for his career as a whole. But Aston Martin on top once again then, to add to that Constructors' Championship lead and the Drivers' Championship lead. It was 85 points going today. It'll be 88 over Che at the end of this one. Grumio comes out on top once again then, and he just can't be stopped. You have to wait for the next game. Anyone who has an opportunity to try and beat him.
Yeah, fantastic racing. I would love to talk to Huggy before his career comes to an end here in RDL. But like you were saying, Grumio has been just unstoppable. It's been amazing, and I think this reverse grid race at Brazil will be exciting because we might actually get a different winner for once.
Definitely. Of course, we had Ericsson last week in Portugal because he had one more winner on this game before things draw to a close. So have a look at your final results then before we go to the interviews. Grumio then wins the race. Che in second. Webs takes his third podium of the season now. Let's talk to him after that final lap. BJ home in fourth. Ethan fifth. Lemons in sixth. Good points haul for Red Bull, as you said, Pope. Lycon seventh for Haas. BJ eighth. Prolon ninth. There'll be 2 more points for AlphaTauri. And Courtney Goblin takes the final point for Ferrari. It's JB 11th. Unfortunately for the end of the day. Fan 12th. Huggy 13th at his final start. Dan in 14th. Alvar 15th. And Legend 16th. The bottom 3 all failing to finish today's Grand Prix. Right then, so we'll get those top 3 and we'll get Huggy in for an interview here in the commentary box. But Pope, then give me your thoughts on the Grand Prix as a whole.
I think it was fantastic. Obviously, it's nice to come to a track that you don't normally see every single season, like your Hungarys, like your Silverstones, even though they're fantastic tracks. But it just allowed us to see something very different, and I think it created a bit more of an even race for the drivers today, as I don't think people were as prepared as normal.
Definitely. And obviously, in terms of that safety car, which brought the field together massively there, and perhaps may have taken away any more element of competition. If we had seen those guys, if we'd seen no safety cars, and we'd seen everyone take their own strategy to the end, would it be a more exciting finish, do you think?
I think yes, in a way. I feel like the satisfaction of a complete strategy and an actual race without any interruption would be so nice, and I think it would have really favoured a certain McLaren fan. But at the end of the day, we had an exciting finish nonetheless with that amazing battle for P3, so I can't complain too much.
Me either. Right, so we get the top 3 in them for interviews. Well, and I know Grumio doesn't like to do interviews, so we'll leave him out, but we'll get Che and Websy in, and we'll speak to Huggy as well if we can. So we'll get those guys in as soon as we can here. But yeah, fantastic stuff here. I do hope you guys down in the chat enjoyed it, because we definitely did up here. Should we invite them in then?
Let's go for it, mate. I'm very, very excited to do this.
And I need to remember how to invite people, because I forget things.
So
Let's just see what we can get out of these guys in the late stages. Huggy has to shoot off, unfortunately. So we're getting out of him. But unfortunate. But we'll take this moment to say congratulations to Huggy Bear on his retirement from the league and for an absolutely stellar career that he's had in this league. I'm not sure how long it's lasted for, because obviously I've been here the entire time. But no doubt it's been absolutely fantastic for him. It's been a pleasure to have him in the league, and we'll look forward to one day seeing him back again soon.
Yeah, no, as we say, no one can ever speak ill of Huggy. He's just a fantastic guy. He may have taken me out at Brazil a couple of seasons ago, however, I've forgiven him. Moved on, and it's a shame to see him go. He's always a pleasure to race with, and someone who is always so consistent here in the RDL.
Definitely right. No sign of anyone as of right now. I'll tag them both and see if they're around. I'll tag. Okay.
As we wait, Zach, if you want to answer this for us, at Brazil, who would you put your money on winning?
Honestly, I think there's no one you could really put any money on, because that race can be just so crazy. Ericsson won it last season, but of course that was at Japan, and this is Brazil we're talking about, so it could go anyone's way. If I remember correctly, Landlaw won the last race last season. I'm trying to remember back to then. Let's come back to that one another time. I'll tell you what I'm hoping for, Pope. I'm hoping that my PC holds out for it this time round, because it always seems to be that whenever I get to either the title deciding race or the last round of the season, we're robbed of a championship crowning moment because of the fact that that my PC just will not work. The OBS will lag frames, and it's unfortunate. But hopefully next week, that's what I'm predicting. The PC will work. That's all I'll say.
I hope so as well.
Right. Okay. So we've got Che in. So Che, mate, there. Can you hear us?
Hello, mate. Yep. Can you hear me?
Yep, loud and clear, mate. Right. So P2 and M for you. A good day at the office, at least from what I'm so sure we'd love to walk away with a victory. But Grimmo is too quick at the end. Talk us through the race for you, then, mate.
Pretty poor qualifying, because the game shafted me with the it said the wets were faster when I came out. Basically, I was trying to spam A to get out the pits, and then it put me on wets when I left.
Oh no.
So that shafted me a little bit. But I started from wherever I did, like P5 or something. Can't remember now.
Around that, yeah.
Got a pretty good start, and then tried to gain some control from there, really. But yeah, Blaze was just a bit too quick at the end. I think I should have run a bit higher downforce, and I might have been able to keep up a little bit more. But yeah, it was just too quick today.
Of course, you had an interesting good battle with him and Fan around the early stages of the Grand Prix. Talk us through that. How was that as a fight?
Yeah, that was good. That was a good little scrap, to be fair. Yeah, I mean, Fan, he was unfortunate because the safety car came at the worst time for him. But you know, Fan, we overtook Fan, me and Blaze at the same time as he boxed, and at this point, it was in my head like, don't fight with Blaze, so we can kind of get away and make sure Fan don't over or undercut us or whatever. So yeah, I tried to back off a little bit then, and then the safety car came out. So in hindsight, I should have just pushed past again, but it is what it is.
Can we get your opinion on the initial start that brought out the red flag, by any chance?
Oh yeah. To be fair, I'm not too sure, but my first look, I think I clipped. Me and Webbsy made contact maybe, and he hit my back left rear. They kind of spun him around on the apex, and everyone went into him. So I haven't seen it though. I haven't seen it.
Yeah, we'll be able to look back at the stream later on when it comes to an end in a few minutes' time. And then, in terms of, well, of course, this is the last race for Huggy Bear tonight, unfortunately. So, any words to say to him before he goes?
Huggy he'll be back. He'll be back. Trust me, he'll be back. We'll miss him around here. He's one of the guys in the Discord that's just been there all the time. He's always in the chat, so he'll be deeply missed.
Definitely, and of course, looking into the last race of the season, the reverse grid race in Brazil. You'll be starting second for that. Sorry, no, you'll be starting 19th for that. My mistake. So can we see you come back to the field and perhaps take a win?
Potentially, who knows? It'll be a good one. Anyway, it'll be a good one. I was tempted to start from the back tonight, to be fair, but I'll save it for next week.
Well, hopefully we'll see you next time round. Of course, the last race on this game next week. Will you miss this game, or are we gonna just move on from it?
Absolutely not. I'm sick of it. Tonight was a chore, to be fair, but yeah, hopefully the next game's a bit better for everyone.
Hopefully that'll be true for us. Right, so thanks for coming on, and we'll perhaps see you again next week after the reverse race.
Yeah, cheers, lads.
No worries. And we got Websy in here for third place. Websy, mate, third podium of the season. Well done.
Yeah, that's cool, wasn't it? Hey, had a great race. Some of these lads are just fantastic races. PJ, obviously he was quick. He was just really, really quick, and I was struggling just trying to just keep up with him, and I was kind of keeping his pace, but obviously, as you know, ERS was kind of really down. But I just kind of, I just got better traction out of and I just got close enough, probably about 3/10 down the big straight, and I just must have obviously got a little bit of aero off him as well, and also I probably had about 12% of ERS, but I just got better traction out of the last corner, so or the corner before, so and he was very, very fair. We went tight around that last corner, but he didn't kind of try anything. It was just all really good racing. I had a great race. Someone had done anything different. I don't think I could have probably driven any faster even, really.
Definitely right. And in terms of course, qualifying earlier on, we were at a wet quali, and you came so close to pole position there. What was your reaction to stick it on the front row?
Surprised, to be fair. I knew that the evolution of the track was obviously getting better and better, and it's just that I just had a good lap, that lap where I came to some corners and where I was kind of locking up my tyres, they just didn't lock up. So, and then I got up one purple section and I thought, wow, that's a bit strange. And then obviously I just thought, oh, it must be actually pretty quick. So the evolution is obviously getting better. So I kind of thought I would maybe be top 5 just because of the evolution of the track, if you will. But no, I was definitely made up with that one.
Fair enough. And of course, in terms of the safety car earlier on, did that have any change to your strategy at all, or is the plan more or less the same the whole way through?
It was exactly the same. Obviously, apart from it kind of worked in I think I might have been 5th at the time. So I think I got back to 5th again. So no, it was exactly the same. There was nothing really changed apart from I probably would have come out about maybe 2 or 3 laps later. But obviously we did that on the safety car anyway. I just went around with the safety car and just didn't kind of warm my tyres up until the last straight, and just so I can keep as much in them as possible, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, no worries, you can get there. And of course, tonight was as I asked earlier, tonight was the last race for Hungry Bear in the league. You got any thoughts, anything to say to him before we see him off?
Oh, he's a good lad, he's Huggy. I mean, I've raced with him for absolutely years, and I raced with him in another 2 leagues as well. So, but no, he's a cracky guy. Hey, GG Huggy, and I'm sorry he's leaving this league, but I'm sure that maybe with the next game and the way things, obviously, the way these games kind of suit certain people and don't suit others, it might just suit him, and all of a sudden he might be getting his name back down again.
Potentially had to wait and see. And of course, looking at next week's race, the reserve race, I keep saying reserve, the reverse grid race. As of right now, I think by my count there'll be about a 3-way scrap for 6th place in the Drivers' Championship between you, TJ, and Ethan. You've got a good chance to come out on top in that. What do you see your chances are?
They're always good round Brazil. I think we're all good round Brazil, if you will. It's just kind of one of them things. If you I think everyone's got a kind of similar-ish the same pace. It's just whether you make that one mistake, and this is the issue with this league. If you just make one mistake and you spin it round once, you're at the back of the grid, and all you're doing then is over racing to try and catch up, and then you make more mistakes, and then so it's just a point of just being fortunate around the first probably 4 or 5 corners to see if you don't get any spun round or get damage, and if we can all get round there pretty cleanly, I think we'll all have a good fun race. And even if someone just next week, if people just hold back and don't try and get that, because it is a bit of fun, but it's a lot more fun if we don't take drivers out and they can have as much fun as we do to complete the race instead of being taken out. So next week, hopefully, everyone will just be a little bit more kind of refined around the first few corners, so we all have the same fun.
All right, then. But by my count, in terms of that fight for P6, I think so. You finished third today. Ethan finished in fifth. So you've gained 5 points on him. So right now, you and Ethan tied for seventh, 8 points back from TJ. So it's anyone's race there. So good luck for you for next week. And let's see if you come out on top of that little battle. So we'll see you then.
Hey, thanks a lot. Cheers, you guys. Bye bye. Thank you.
To the podium, mate. Well done.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Right then, so that was Chair Lover and Websy. Two of our podium finishes. We don't normally ask him because obviously we're not really fan of doing the interviews. But Pope, any final thoughts then before we wrap things off?
No, I think everyone drove fantastically today, and like I said, it just makes me want to get back racing again. So obviously, I love commentating. It was a pleasure to commentate with you per usual, but I think that just shows you how good the racing is right now. Even without a full grid, the driving was immaculate from pretty much everyone all around, and it gets me excited for next week.
Definitely looking forward to the reverse grid race. Hope you guys down in the chat are excited as well. If you are, make sure to go subscribe to the channel for the final race, the reverse grid race next week. This time at 7 o'clock. I finally said it right this time around. Me and Pope will both be here to cover that Grand Prix for you. The last round of the season, the last race on this game, literally the day before the Champions Edition for F1 23 drops. So we'll be looking forward to get that one going and be with you for F1 23 as well. So from us here in the booth, it's goodbye. Hope you've enjoyed this one, and we shall see you next week in Brazil. Good night.